Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishes. I am Jim Moyna, the videographer manager here at Moyna Bass Fishes Enterprises. In this video, it's going to be kind of a simple little topic. A friend of mine is from Texas. His name's Jim Tutt. He used to fish on the FLW Tour. He fished in the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuits until he got out of it a couple years ago. But he's kind of a friend of mine. We'd hang out at campgrounds together and that. Because he was a camper as I am a camper. So we ran into each other quite a bit and keep in touch over the phone every once in a while. So I talked to Jim today, and he's come to a conclusion. I'm just throwing this out there to see what sort of comments might come back on this one. But so he's got a nephew that's young. He's one of these young gun kind of fishermen. You know, he's of the young age. I think he's like 19, maybe 20. So he's from that era, and he's in that new age kind of bass fisherman kind of a grouping, I guess. Whereas Jim Tutt, he's a couple years older than I am. I'm 60. He's probably, I don't know, 64, somewhere like that. But between Jim and his young nephew, they decided that, and suggested to me, he suggested to me over the phone today that, well, let me just throw in one more thing. I've had a terrible year tournament performance wise, probably the worst year I've had ever, or at least going back to maybe 1989, the first year I ever started doing money tournaments here in Minnesota. But it's been a disaster. Not cashing. I've cashed one check out of like 13 tournaments or 14 tournaments, something like that. Which is I'm usually historically I'm like about a 2 out of 3 check casher. So to go 1 out of 13 is terrible. So his thoughts, and he came to this conclusion with his young nephew, young meaning 19. He said, Jim, maybe you just need to fish without forward sonar. Just go back to fishing how you used to. And I don't know if I should do that, because I mean, if a lot of tournaments would be won using forward sonar, shouldn't I also be trying to fish that way? And I'm catching a lot of fish because I'm using my forward sonar. But then in these tournaments that I'm having bad performance, maybe I could be missing out on a shallow bite that's there. That's a non-forward sonar type bite. A perfect example would be the Leech Lake tournament we just had with the Bassmaster Opens here on, a week ago. In the tournament, it was won on largemouths up in shallow vegetation, non-forward sonar kind of fishing. Very traditional, very old school, especially for that lake. So I'm supposed to be fishing this lure here while I'm talking, by the way, but I'm just putzing around with it. So let's actually make a cast and try to connect. So I've given that some thought, and I don't see how I can do that. But I can see how I can maybe incorporate some more shallow water strategies into what I do. One thing I've always liked to do, and I'm pretty good at, is fishing boat docks. So maybe I need to investigate that a little bit more, go back to some of that. But I am trying to figure out why this year has been so poor. And I feel like I'm not fishing much different. But I'm not getting on enough fish. I'm making the wrong decisions. It seems like every time my starting spot doesn't work. It takes a couple, 1 or 2, 3 stops before I finally start landing on a few fish, and they're just fish. They're not quality fish. I haven't Really lost that many quality fish this year because I'm not hooking those quality fish. I'm just hooking fish. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, but the question is that a valid strategy to just give up on the forward sonar? I don't see how it can be, because sometimes it's just so important, and I have caught a lot of fish with it. It's been beneficial for targeting my casts to weed edges or rock piles or boulders. So I don't know. But now I can't get a fish off the dock here now. That's kind of weird. Usually I come down here and I at least get a northern swipe at this thing. But that's not happening right now. Anyhow, I don't think I'm giving up my forward sonar. Yeah, some of you probably suggest, hey Jim, fish the NPFL next year. They don't even allow it. I'll look at what they offer for next year. I'm not really in the planning mode for next year yet. I gotta wait till I gotta see what Bassmaster announces. We kind of got a lot of the announcements from Major League Fishing. We've got, but let's see what NPFL offers. Let's see what Bassmaster offers. The Champions Tour. Now I'm caught on a bull rush. The Champions Tour, that's a local circuit here in Minnesota. I love fishing that tour. And I got to see what they announce, because I'd like to work that in as well. So, come on. It was right at the breaking point. I don't have that heavy of a line on here, but it pulled through. So I'm really not at the point where I'm going to make up my mind on that stuff. There's a lot of information that's missing to make those decisions, but the strategy of just foregoing forward sonar altogether, I don't think that's really working for guys that are maybe already implying that strategy. Yeah, occasionally, but overall, not sure about that. Thanks for watching. Over and out.